Greetings comrades, Soviet Gaming here. Today we will be talking about Elementalist build in our Kingdom 2. As always, let's start with the skills. So, Elementalists have one specific skill that's really unique, it's called the Healing Wind. It means that he can heal other team members, and that's the only class that can do that. That makes Elementalist really unique and really important in the party content, because without him your tanks will die, your group will die. Same as any other class, the skill you will use will depend on the build you would like to pick, on the build you will create in your talents. So Elemental Detonation, that will be available at level 150, will be always in the rotation, and Lightning Punishment as well, because those have talents in all the trees. Other than that, all Elementalists would like to be able to use the Healing Wind, specifically in the Territory Wars, in the Guild Wars, and in other group content. And there is another cool skill that's called Storm Curse that will stun the enemy basically, so they can't move or attack for 3 seconds. So in order to figure out which build you would like to use, which skills do you want to level, I strongly figure out going to the talents and deciding what you want to do with your Elementalist. If we will go with the recommended path, there we go, it will be the healing build, and this one is pretty good actually. And since recommended build is a healer build, let's go over that one first. So the skills that the healer will use will be the Healing Wind, obviously, it's buffed here, here and in some other spot. Then they have the buff for the Storm Curse and the Lightning Zap that will have a chance of clearing the cooldown that will help them a lot to cast more stuff. And you would like to start using Lightning Punishment and Elemental Detonation when you'll get those talents, because before that they are not that useful. But considering the skill leveling, you would like to take that into consideration. And of course we have this Elemental Chaos over here, which is pretty cool because it have 10% chance of triggering one of the following effects, and all 4 effects can be triggered at the same time, so that's a good buff-debuff mechanics. Alright, so this is the path for the healer. Let's take a look how the damage dealer will look like. We have 2 types of damage trees. First one is the top one, is basically the pure damage. Second one, the bottom one, is the frost one, which have a lot of debuffs, stuns and crowd control. So as always, if you want to go for the maximum DPS, you want to pick the top tree. If you want to do some debuffing, cursing and that kind of stuff, you want to go for the bottom one. Also, I've heard that the bottom line is way better in PvP than the top one because of the additional crowd control. So for the pure damage build, you'll be focused on the Pyro Bomb, Meteor Shot and the Lightning Zap skills, other than the Elemental Detonation and the Lightning Punishment. When you're building your tree, you can either go all the way straight, all the way straight to the right to get to the ultimate skill faster, or you can go all the way to the Lightning Zap over here. Then you will go down here and that will give your basic spells damage over time effect and get this additional defense buff for yourself. Get this additional critical for the Pyro Bomb and Meteor Shot. Buff your Storm Curse and Lightning Zap a little bit and have chance to clear cooldown. Get the crit damage and then go either for this tree or for this tree. So there are different variations how you can build your character, and it's up to you to decide which works better for you, which skills do you like the most basically. Personally, I think going over here, going to the middle and following the middle line will help you to deal more pure DPS, because those skills over here, they just buff the damage and you will have the chance of clearing your cooldown that will allow you to cast more spells per second. While if you go into the top tree, you're debuffing enemy by increasing their chance of getting critical strikes. If you'll go for the bottom talent tree with additional debuffs, you'll be using the Freezing Ice, Storm Curse and the Frost Storm over here, because those skills are being buffed along the way. I recommend going all the way to the right on the bottom line and taking those additional skills over here as you go, because they will increase the duration of your skills and they will give you additional shielding, which is always nice. Maybe going all the way up to animating element that will increase your critical damage as well, because it's always nice to have some additional DPS. Although keep in mind, if you're running a lot of group content, if you're doing a lot of territory wars, and you would like to be a good healer, so probably you would like to go for the Healing Wind Mastery over here, by sacrificing some of the damage but increasing healing done to keep your raid alive. So okay, now when we are done with the talents, we can go over the skills for each build. So this is how I would make the rotation for the healer build in most of the situations. First skill will be the Storm Curse, because it can stun the enemy, and after that you can do other attacks. Then will be the Meteor Shot, which will lower the target's defense After that will go the lightning zap that will do additional damage over time damage. Then we'll drop the pyro bomb on them that will give additional DPS on them and additional damage over time stuff. And you will have healing wind as the last one, so you can use it in between when you need to heal your team, because it's more or less situational skill. But this is in case if you don't have talents in the lightning punishment, because that skill is doing quite a good thing over here. It's inflicting the weak, decreasing target's damage by 20% for the next 6 seconds, and it have 20-second cooldown. So it's a pretty good uptime, and if timed correctly, that can save your team quite a lot. So if I would like to feed lightning punishment in this rotation, I would remove the pyro blast. There we go, and put that one over there on the 4th spot. And it's pretty important to use it at the right time to counter enemy strong attacks and save your team. So it's not just another rotation attack that will do the damage. This class, when you're playing the healer, you should kinda time your skills. You should be able to counter the enemy movements and save your teammates. And when the elemental detonation will be available, I would remove the meteor shot and put it over there, because this is a really good skill and it's ultimate, and ultimates are usually really powerful. Never saw them in action, to be honest, but they should be, right? So yeah, if you want to be future-proof and you don't want to reset your skills, I would advise going for the healing wind, storm curse and lightning zap hard. Like, you would like to level those skills a lot, mainly the healing wind, because this is the amount of healing you will do to your allies. So leveling something like pyro bomb, freezing ice, meteor shot and the frost storm isn't that useful in the long run, but since it gives you a lot of stats, you really want to level them up at the basic stage, specifically the pyro bomb, because it gives you attack. We'll move on to the main stats of your class a bit later. Right now let's talk about the build for the damage dealer. So for the DPS class, depending on which path you will take, if you'll go for the top path, you would like to go for the meteor shot. If you go to the middle path, you would like to go to the storm curse instead, so that's the only difference. But other than that, you want to go for the pyro bomb, you want to go for either of those, and you want to go for the lightning zap. And after that you're going for the lightning punishment and for the elemental detonation as well, because those will be efficient in the late game. So for leveling it's pyro bomb, lightning zap, meteor shot or the storm curse, depending on your path. Now what you would like to use before you will get that elemental detonation. I strongly recommend using the Storm Curse because it's a stun attack and it's so useful in the PvP, in the guild wars, in the dungeons, everywhere but the boss fights. So yeah, probably it would be a good idea to level this one as well a little bit. Okay, now when we're done with the DPS build, let's go to the, I'll call it crowd control build, but it's another DPS build with additional debuffs. That build will focus on the freezing ice, the Storm Curse, then on the frost storm, lightning punishment and elemental detonation. And while you don't have elemental detonation, you can use either a meteor shot to do the debuff or the healing wind. It's up to you basically. Pick any skills that you like, maybe pyro bomb because you level it up anyway for additional attack. Some of those skills would be nice. Considering the skill usage, if you are the frost build, I would recommend opening up with the storm curse because it will stun the enemy. If you are DPS build, you are kinda lucky because pyro bomb and meteor shot have way higher range than other spells and you can shoot them from the far away, so you won't have issues with enemies being too close to you. Unluckily I couldn't test lightning zap, frost storm, lightning punishment and of course elemental detonation, but I guess the rotation will be situational anyway. For any situation it will be different. Just make sure that you're keeping the healing wind on the last spot, so you can use it when you either take damage yourself if you're soloing, or you can use it when your allies are injured so you can save them. Alright, we're finally done with the builds. Let's move on to the stats. For the Elementalist, attack is one of the most important things. Just like Dragoons, attack is their top priority because all their skills, including the healers, are being scaled off attack. So more of that you have, more damage you will do, more your damage over time spells will do, so it's really useful to go for attack. And that goes for all the builds. For the healers, the second stat will be HP to be alive and the defense as well, so that will help you to stay alive and heal your allies for longer, and you won't die to the random stuff basically. For the damage build though, I would recommend going for the crit to get additional damage and then get additional HP, defense and evasion as you can for additional survivability, but focusing on damage is always the best option for the damage dealer, because you are the damage dealer. Your goal is to do as much damage as possible. Another important thing for the healers, that they want to go for additional healing over here. So rerolling your items for additional plus heal ability will help you a lot to heal your allies better. Let's move on to Eidolons. Actually, this account doesn't have any good Eidolons, so I'll switch to my main one. Okay, good. Now we can take a look at the Eidolons. So for the damage build, I would advise the same thing I advise for all the damage dealers that are going for the attack. You can check the Eidolon video for that for more information, but to be sure, focus on attack and critical Eidolons. So this setup would work really well. You will have a lot of characters that boost your attack a lot, and you will have a lot of characters that boost your critical as well and boosting your stats overall. So for me that would be the best build because I don't have as many SSR guys. So yeah, basically for the damage build, focus on the attack and critical stuff, and for the healing build, focus a little bit on self-defense and maybe add in some of the attack thingies over here. So something like this should do pretty well. That will keep you alive for a while, for a longer periods of time, and attack champions will give you a little bit of damage boost, of attack boost, that will increase your healing as well. And yeah, if you want deeper info on the Eidolons, click over there or go into comments, open the playlist and look for Eidolon video. Considering the gear, you want to focus on the gear that gives you attack bonuses, so those will be the attack sets of accessories and the damage set that gives you all stats and additional attack and critical. This is for the damage build, and for the healers, you want to reroll those stats to get additional healing if you are really important healer person. If you're not, well, you can go with whatever you have, because healing will be more or less useless outside of the group content. Small tip about emblems: other than finishing the whole tables, you want to focus on the attack emblems first, so you can boost your damage, boost your attack, boost your healing before you will spend your runes on something else. For the mount, you probably want to go for attack 1 for any build because that will give you additional attack. And the same goes about the book. You want to farm the mobs that gives you attack boost to increase your attack, and after that the secondary targets will be your secondary stats, critical or HP and defense. And I think that's it for the Elementalist guide. I hope you guys enjoyed. I would like to give special thanks to Ajunta and Raphael for supporting me with the info about their class, since I'm not really good at Elementalist. And if you guys have your own ideas about the class or any questions, write them down in the comments down there. While you're going there, don't forget to leave a like to this video, make sure that you are subscribed to this channel and that bell notifications are turned to all. That is really important, otherwise you might miss something useful. Also, join our Discord, we have fantastic community over there, we talk about everything, you will love it. Also follow me on Twitch, I'm streaming different games, most of them are pretty hard, so you will see the challenge, and on Sunday we have the community multiplayer. And join me on the social media, all the links are down here or in the description or in the pinned comments, you will find them if you want to. And that's about it for now. Thank you for watching, comrades, see you later, Soviet out, bye.